A warm welcome to everyone from Excel and Excel. Hope you all are safe and doing well. We welcome you all to yet another session of Fresh Talk. Thank you all for enrolling in this event. Excel and Excel welcomes you all. For those of you who didn't know about Excel and Excel, here's a gist. Excel and Excel is a data analytics firm that solves high impact business problems using data and technology. We provide end to end services in the field of data analytics and data visualization. Our core services involve analytics, consulting, and training. Excel and Excel presents the popular talk show EIE Fresh Talk on its YouTube channel, where it hosts great leaders and subject matter experts from various fields to speak regularly on a variety of subjects. Some of our past events are Time for Automation, Power Query and Power Automate by Faraz Sheikh, and Google plus Power Query for report automation in Excel and Power BI by Michael Olafuse. We are happy to share our website EIE Fresh Talk by Excel and Excel has been selected as one of the top 5 Microsoft Excel podcasts on the web by feedspot.com. Joining us today, we have our speakers for the day, Ms. Indira Bandari and Ms. Medha Madari. Ms. Indira is a Microsoft Data Platform MVP in New Zealand. She has a master's degree in statistics and is passionate about data, analytics, and artificial intelligence. She is a BI and SQL lead, an international speaker, a mentor, and part time trainer with over 15 years of experience in designing and developing data, warehouses, and analytical solutions. Volunteering and sharing her knowledge is her passion. She is a director at Kids Tech Charitable Trust. She is also a co organizer for Data, Insights, and Power BI User Group, Auckland AI Meetup Group, and SQL Saturday events in Auckland. Miss Medha is a 14-year-old student from Auckland, New Zealand. She is passionate about technology. She has won prizes for her Power BI data visualization and has presented in Power BI meetups in Auckland. In her spare time, she publishes Excel and coding training videos for kids in her YouTube channel. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. It's a pleasure having you with us. Before we begin, we'd like participants to type in your questions in the question box if you all have any questions, and do leave a hi message to our speakers. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. I just want to share my screen now. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's start. Today's talk is about data transformation using Power Query. I'm Indira, and my daughter Medha will be joining soon with us. I'll just cover what we are going to do, and then Medha will start the first part. So I think Orlando has done a big introduction about me and Medha, so we don't need to introduce more. So I have been working with data over the last 15 years, and like data analytics and data science. And I like to volunteer, and I teach kids SQL and Power BI. And that's where I think Medha also got the knowledge, started getting the knowledge from when she's 10 years old. And this is Medha, and she started her own YouTube channel. She publishes mostly coding for kids and also Excel videos. She just started, so yeah, she's slowly doing whenever she has time. Now, getting to the agenda today, we will cover what is Power Query and why Power Query, And Medha will be covering what is Power Query and why we should use Power Query, and also the third part, that is the extracting data from multiple files in a folder, and why we are doing that. And then I'll be covering various aspects of web scraping, and all along you'll be learning some tips and tricks. So over to Medha.
Hi everyone, my name is Medha Bandari and I will get started. So let's first learn what Power Query is. So I'll give you a quick overview of Power Query. Power Query first became available in Excel as an add-in for Excel way back in 2010. And that's almost a decade ago. If you're still using Excel 2010 or 2013, you will see it as an add-in, or you can download it as an add-in from the Microsoft website. But I hope no one is still using Excel 2010. Also, the Power Query that is available in later versions has substantially more functionality compared to the one that is available in Excel 2010 to 2013. Power Query became available as part of Excel from the beginning of Excel 2016. And what does that mean? That means that you no longer need to add Power Query as an add-in in Excel. It's available as part of the Data tab in Excel, which I'll be showing you when we do the demo. So that was the history of Power Query. Now let's look at what exactly Power Query is. So what is Power Query? So Power Query is a business intelligence tool available in Excel. It allows you to import data from many different sources and then clean, transform, and reshape your data. Power Query is a data transformation and data preparation engine. It comes with a graphical interface for getting data from sources and a Power Query editor for applying transformations because the engine is available in many products and services. The destination where the data will be stored depends on where Power Query was used. As illustrated in this diagram here. So for example, if you use Power Query from Excel, the data will be stored in Excel. And if you use Power Query in Power BI, the data will be stored in Power BI. It's the same case with Dataverse, which is also known as Common Data Services, and Azure Data Lake Storage. So why Power Query? Now you might ask, why should I use Power Query? Well, when you are spending a big chunk of your time in gathering and cleaning data, the time savings generated by using Power Query can be huge. A survey from Kaggle in 2018 revealed that on average, data specialists are spending 40% of their time on this task, and that is a considerable amount of time to save. So again, and the main purpose of using Power Query is to automate gathering data from various sources and cleaning the data to be used in a model. It allows you to set up a query once and then reuse it with a simple refresh. It's also pretty powerful. The user interface is intuitive and well laid out, so it's really easy to pick up. And it's an incredibly short learning curve when compared to other tools like formulas or VBA. Now let's switch over to Excel, and I will show you my data that I'll be using for the demo today. Hopefully everyone can see this. Okay, so I have gathered some sales data here, and so I will just, this is the 2017, 2018, 2019, so I'll be combining, I'll be showing you how to combine all of this data. So I'll just open one real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's got invoice ID.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So here I have the invoice ID, the branch name, the supermarket, product line, the unit price, quantity sold, 5% of the tax, the total, the date sold, the payment type, and the gender and type. So this is what I'll be cleaning up first, and then I will load them all together. I'll just so hopefully everyone can see this again. This is a new Excel workbook, and I'll be starting fresh on here. So first, to get all the data together, I will go into the data tab, click on it, and where it says get data, I'm going to press the drop down and go into from file, and from file I will go into from folder, because my data, I have put all my 3 files into a folder. So once this opens, I'm going to click on browse, and I will go into pictures because that's where I've stored my data, and where it says CSV files, these are not actually CSV files, I've just named them like that. But I will open that because that's where all my 3 files have been stored. So here are my 3 files, and over here it says combine, and instead of just clicking combine and load, I will click on combine and transform the data. So here, if we click on here, we can see all our data, right? And make sure over here it says first file, right? And then if you go on sheet 1, you can see our data. So we'll click OK now. Also, make sure make sure that you have closed the data before you proceed. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I actually forgot to close my data, so I'll just quickly do it again. So again, we'll quickly go through the steps from file and from folder. And browse, and I'll go into this, open it, press on OK. And then combine and transform data, always remember that. And sheet 1, so this is our data, and OK. So it is opening. Yeah, so can everyone see Power Query Editor?
Yes.
Okay. So as you can see, all the files have been combined into one. And if we scroll, you can see it all. So we've scrolled, we can see it all. And also if you click on this drop down box here and press on load more, you can see that we have all 3 files. So you don't need to worry about that. So you press OK. Now, under the queries, we have all the queries that Power Query has automatically generated for us. And now that we need to make the changes to our data, we're going to go into transform sample file. So I'm going to go into transform sample file. And so the first step that we're going to do is fix our headers because they are pretty mucked up. So what I'm going to do is I will go here under applied steps. So applied steps is basically going to show everything that we do. So I'm just gonna X off the promoted headers, and it will come down here. And so after this, I am going to go into the transform tab, and I will transpose this data. So I will go transpose, and all of it's been transposed. And then after this, I will select my first 2 columns. So shift, oops, you just press shift and select both of them. And where it has the drop down, we need to right click there. And then we have merge columns. We're going to press on merged columns. And where it says separator, I will press space because for my data, space is the only thing that's separating the 2 columns. But if you have, there are various other options. And if you have, like, for example, a comma that's separating your data, then you obviously have to click on comma. But I have a space, so I'm going to press OK. And after I've merged my column, I will transpose it again, and it will come back to this. And so after this, the final step of this is just to go to this little table icon, and where it says use first row as headers, we will click on that, and boom, there we go. We made our first row the headers, and it looks nice and neat now. Also, the next thing that I wanted to do to clean this up a little more is to separate the gender and type, because I don't want gender and type to be together. I want them as different columns, right? So I'm just going to click on, I'm just going to select the row. So, column, gender and type. And then I will go into split column, which is under the transform tab. And for my data, I will be using by delimiter, but you can do many other things like by lowercase to uppercase or uppercase to lowercase. But right now, I feel that by delimiter is the best thing to do. And so again, where it says select or enter delimiter, I will click on space, which has already been selected, because that is the thing that is separating my thing. And also some people have like a dash next to both of the words. And if you have that, then you're obviously going to select like a dash or like a comma or colon or whatever you have over there. But I will click on space right now. And so I'll press OK. And there we go. It's separated for us. So now all I need to do is just rename this to, gender. And then rename this one to type. And the third step, including our data, is multiplying. So what I want to multiply is the unit price and the quantity sold. So I will just select both of this and I will go into add column, and under standard we have multiply. So I'll press multiply. And there we go, it's multiplied it for us. Now a step further than this is rounding. So if you want to round, you'll get your answers in decimal places. But if you want to round them, you can go underneath add column again, and it says rounding over here. I'm going to press round. And then I'm going to press 2 decimal places. And I'm going to go OK. And so now it's made another column called round for the rounded decimal places. And so when that happens, then I don't need this multiplication one anymore. So I'll just select it and I'll delete it. So now I've got round. And just note that I did not apply tax here. And also, if you would like to count the rows, then you go under the transform tab and click on count columns. If your file has more than 1,000 rows, the preview only downloads the top 1,000 rows. So if you want to know how many rows will be imported, you can count the rows. So now if you want to delete a step, we will just press the X. Now you can also use filtering. And how you do that is you just click on here and you can untick or tick whatever you want. But I am going to keep my data, so I'm not going to tick or untick anything. I'll click OK. Now also I first want to rename this round to sale amount. So sale and amount. Yep, so it's changed it to that. And then now I would like to add a column called year. So I'm going to go into add column tab, and then I will press custom column. And now it comes up with this. Now what I do over here is my column's name is going to be year. And over here the formula is going to be data.year. Oh yeah. So once it turns up, you can just like delete this. And then open brackets, and I will click on date sold. Oops. Double click on that and then close it. And make sure that you have no syntax errors or it won't work on your data. So now I'll press OK. And boom, we've got a year column. And so now that we've done all the editing, remember we have been working on the transform sample file. So I want to go back into my original file. So when we go here, it shows us that there's an error. And that's because this place here has the old data before we cleaned it. So to get our data back, we just need to go to applied steps, and where it says change type, I will click X on the changed type. And now, as you can see, our data is back. And where it says source name, I don't need this, so I can just select it and delete it. Yeah, so now I want to detect the data type, because as you can see, all these little icons here, they are all the same. And I don't want that. I want this to identify what kind of data it is. So I'm going to go back into the transform tab, and I'm going to select all my columns here. So all my columns. Yeah, select. So I'm just going to press Control and drag it through. And then I'm going to go to detect data type. So when you press on that, as you can see, all these little icons change, and it identifies what kind of data it is. So the supermarket is ABC because it's just words, and the unit price is like 1.2 because it's decimals. And this one's the date sold because it's a date, and that icon represents the date. And I have applied all my changes to all of my data, so I don't need to worry now. And now I can finally load my data on to my new spreadsheet. So I'll go back into home, and where it says close load, I'm going to click the drop down, and I'm not going to click close and load. I'll click on close and load to. So once I press that, this little box appears. And this shows what we can import our data as. So you can import it as a table, a pivot table report, a pivot chart, or if you click, if you tick this box here and you click, you have to tick this box, and when you tick that box, this is the only thing that you can use. But today I won't be doing that. I will be just making a pivot table report. Now I press OK, and hopefully my rows. Yes, everything's loaded. So my 3,000 rows have been 300,000 rows have been 3,000. Okay, yeah, 3,000 rows have been loaded. Now here's my pivot table ready to build. So now under rows, we will insert year. So I'll just drag this and drop it into rows. And where it says values, I'll put in our sale amount, the one that we multiplied. So there. So this is the sale amount and the row labels. So now that we have, we've seen 3 files loaded, the next thing I want to see is another file being automatically uploaded onto here when I just add it to the file that we have, the folder that we have. So in the folder that we have, remember we only had the 3 data spreadsheets, which was the 2017, 2018, and 2019. But now I will show you how it will automatically change over here when we just add one more data spreadsheet into there. So I'll just share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see this. So now I'll go into Excel presentation because that's where my my 2020 data is. This is the new thing that I'll be putting into my folder. So I'm going to copy this and go back into here and my thing, and I'll just paste it onto here. So here I've pasted it, and so now I'll go back into my other file. Okay, so I'm back onto my spreadsheet where I've done all my combining, and now I will go into the data tab, and where it says refresh all, I will just press the refresh button, and boom, we've got the 2020 data automatically added onto this spreadsheet. So I think that is pretty cool. So that concludes me speaking today. And I just wanted to share some tips I have for you all today. So just firstly, make sure that you have the same number of columns and all the titles should be the same. And remember that. And also I had an issue with the date column, as I have downloaded the sample file from kaggle.com. And the problem was that some rows had the NZ date format and some rows had the United States format. So make sure that they're all the same. So that's it from me now, and I will hand it over to my mum.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, let's go into web scraping. So today what I want to cover in web scraping for Excel is how do we import structured HTML, and also how do we import JSON format files or format websites, and also the data from websites where there is unstructured HTML. And I'll share you some tips as we go along. So we'll first start with structured HTML. So this is the list of Bollywood films of 2020 from Wikipedia. That's what I have. I'm going to show you how to import. And if the website has a structured HTML, it is really easy to import, as we can just choose the tables that we can see in Excel. So I'm just going to show you how the website looks, and then we can go from there. So here is the list of Bollywood films. So there are a lot of tables here. So maybe we will try and import one of them. So in order to do that, just copy the link from here. And I have already opened a blank Excel. This is the blank Excel. So now you go into data. Oh, just give me a minute. Okay, so go into data and you can choose from web. When you choose from web, and you paste the URL that you have copied into here. See, this is a list of Bollywood films of 2020. And when I say OK, the Power Query editor appears. So here you can see all these data. So April to June, that is the table. Document, we will get to that in the unstructured HTML part. And here highlight highest worldwide gross amount spent, I think. So you can, if you want, you can do that. I'm going to import the January to March, which we saw, ghost stories and things like that. And I just want that. If you want multiple, you can also import multiple. For that, you just need to tick on multiple items. Then you can just go this one, January to March and July to September. So I'm just going to import these two. And then I'll just go transform data. And see here, this is the Power Query editor. And you have all the data in these two columns. If you want, you can just rename them Jan to March list. And also, if you want to remove any unnecessary columns that you don't want, see this one looks like it's blank. Just go and see, nothing, everything is blank. So this is just a waste of space. So in order to improve the performance, just remove that. And also, yeah, do we have this one? Yeah, okay, this one data is there. So you can just go to the other data, other table as well. And then I just want to rename that to July to September. And make sure that you have the headers correctly. If you want to rename the headers, you can rename the headers. And I'm just going to remove the last column. And also a couple of tips I want to share with you. If you can use these two. If you want to keep only top certain rows, you can just use these. If you say top rows, it will ask you for the number of rows that you want to keep. You can keep that. I'm not going to use that. And also similarly, you can use remove. If you want to remove rows, remove top 10 rows or remove bottom 10 rows or remove alternate rows or even remove duplicates, you can use those. Now I'll just go and load them. So you can either use close and load. If you do close and load, then it will load in a table. Otherwise, you can just go into close and load too. And then you can either choose pivot table chart or whatever. So I'll just choose pivot table chart for now. And then they will load as two different sheets. Oh, it's one sheet. Okay, so see, two different sheets in the same pivot table. So you can try and, let's say, for example, visualize them. So director, by director, we can say the count of, we can just say count of titles. So by director, only one, I think. Yeah, so you altogether 36 are there in the January list. And similarly, you can do for the July and September. So you can visualize and analyze based on the pivot tables that are loaded onto the Excel file. So that is very simple and easy, isn't it? So let's go back to the PowerPoint and then let's go and see how we can load a JSON formatted website. So usually JSON formatted websites are available if the website is giving us a API. So here I have reddit.com. It's a news site. So here, this is what we have. So each news item appears like this, and this is available as a API. So how do you visualize API? The API, the output of the API comes in a JSON format. So any website that gives you a JSON format as an API, you can visualize like this. You put / at the end of the website link and put .json. And once you do that, you can visualize, and this is all a JSON format file. So this is the link that I'm going to take, and this I'm going to import into Excel. So if I go into the same spreadsheet and go into data, again, you can use the web. And once you use the web, you paste the link, and because this link is available for everyone to use, you can use it without any login credentials. So that is the reason it is allowing you to use. Otherwise, you need to put the login credentials. So now, this is what it is showing. And if you expand this record, it shows, if you click on this record, it shows the JSON format. See, this is the JSON format it is showing. And what I'll do is I'll just remove this, and you can change that into table. And once you change this into table, I just want the record to be expanded. So I'll just filter the listing. I don't want the listing to be seen. So I'll just filter that. And you are just left with record. See, now when you are left with record, you see a expand sign. So just before you expand, you can visualize what is there in the record. So it is just showing you what is there. So you can just expand, and then when you expand, make sure you untick the use original column name as prefix. Otherwise, when you expand, the column names will be value dot and all those things will come. So I'll just untick that and then expand. Once we expand, see here there is a list that can be expanded. So we can expand that, and then we can see what is there inside that. Before we see that, see again there are some records which can be expanded. So I am just going to expand that. Expand to, you can either expand to new rows or extract values. I'll just try and extract values and see what's going to happen. Or else I'll just expand to new rows. Yeah, once we get the new rows, and if we check this one, again there is expansion needed. So we'll just expand, and so until you get the real data, you just keep expanding. So now we are getting the real data, all the fields. So before you expand that, what I would like to do is I want to use a feature, because I don't need all these columns. I just need this column. So what I do is I just go into remove columns, click on the drop down, and because I have selected what I need, I want to remove other columns. So I just remove other columns, and then this one can be expanded. So all these can be expanded, and whatever we don't need, we can remove it later. So see here, this is the text that we can see. So these are the, it's like an RSS feed of the reddit.com website. So you can keep whatever you want and rename them. And yeah, this is the author full name. I don't know, maybe it's a username or something like that. And you can see, yeah, this is the title. So you can just keep whatever you want, whatever columns you want, and then load it. So loading is the same, so I won't cover the loading part. Now let's go into the third one, which is a bit complicated. I'm just going to, shall I save it? Okay, I'll just say, I just want title, and let's see what I can keep. You can also, okay, what you can do is you can also keep you can also use choose columns, because there are a lot of columns for me. I'm going to go and choose columns, and I want to keep title, and maybe I want to keep maybe name, and I want to keep I think there is some kind of awards, total awards received, and yeah, only those three probably. And then I'll just go okay. See, now I have the data neat and tidy. So and then now I can load this part. So I just go load, click and load to, and I can load to a pivot table report in a new worksheet. So it's going to load into a new worksheet, and it's going to load, because I didn't rename the query, it's just going to load as query 1. And then you can see how many total records are there. Sum of total records, so total awards, not records, sorry. And that is the sum of total records by, maybe you can say author or by name. So yeah, and then you can do further analysis from here. So now let's go and look at the third part, which is unstructured HTML. Okay, so what I'll do is I just want to show you how we can do the unstructured HTML, and I also want to show what unstructured HTML means. Let's say I have this, I'm going into a finance website, and I want to get the stock price on a daily basis. For Uber, this is the stock price as of today at close. So it is already closed at 4 p.m. EST, and I want to get that into Excel. So for that, this is what we need to do. So I'll just go into the Excel again. Before that, I'll just go copy this one and go into data again, and from web, because it's a web link, and give the URL Uber, and just say okay. And today I'm going to show you both Power BI and Excel. It's a little bit easy in Power BI, but I want to show you in Excel and then Power BI. So if we look at this in the first example, we have document and we have some tables. But the data that we want is not there in the tables. See, that 60 dot, the 60.63 is not there in these tables that we are seeing here. So how do we get that? So this is why it is called unstructured. So this is how we can get the unstructured. So unstructured means they are not structured in tables. They are structured in something called divisions and classes. It's called div tag in the HTML language. So in order to get that, I'm going to just select document and then click on transform data. And once we click on transform data, you just get one row which says element, HTML, table, and null. And to be honest, if somebody new sees that, they don't know what to do. So let's go and try and see how we can do it. Before we start anything here, we just need to go here, go onto the web page, and then try and inspect what the structure of the website is. So in order to do that, because I want to get this one, I just highlight this one and right click and then say inspect. The shortcut is Control Shift and L. And now here it opens the source code. And when you see the source code, see there are a lot of, this is the structure of this website. So it started off with HTML tag and then going into header, head tag, body tag, and then followed by a lot of divisions. Div 1, div. So we need to drill through those. So that's what we are going to do. So let's go into here and try to do the same here. So now if I click on here outside of the table link, you can see there is head and body, right? So we need to go and so that we need to expand this. So I'm just going to click on table and then we get the head and body. So from here, from the head and body is our data. We just need to look at the structure again. Our data is not in the head because that is turned that way. Our data is in the body. If you do like that, our data is in the body. So that means we need to expand body. So I'm just going to go there and expand body. You can click here. If you click here, what happens is it won't expand that. It will expand only this row and then removes the other columns. So that's the advantage of clicking on the table here. So now here there is a lot of division. There are 2 divisions and lot of scripts. So let's go back here again and see in the body, within the body there is a iframe which is not coming there, and there is a first division. If you click there, first division, after that 2 iframes and then division and division. So that means we need to click on the first division followed by another first division and then followed by another first division. So let's go back here again and then go to the first division and again to the first division and again to the first division. Now we have got 2 divisions. So now again, let's go back and see. So we are here now, 1, 2, 3 and 4. In the fourth one, we are going to click the second one because the first division is turned that way. So we are going to go and click the second division. So okay, so let's go and click the, again we are going to go and do the table, and now we have got 4 divisions, and out of the four divisions we are going to click. So where are the 4 divisions? Let's check here, I think. Yeah, so here the 4 divisions are there, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4th division. So we are just going to click that. I think it's the 4th division. And then again, if there is only one, you can just click one. And then we are going to click the, so like this, you need to go and see, and then wherever it is, you need to click that. So I have, yeah, I think I have saved. I don't want to go into too much detail there. So I will just, website links, it's there, I think. Yeah, I just copied the code in here. Oh no, I don't have the code in here. Okay. I think I'll open this one and see whether there is the code in there. Oh, I can't open. Okay, let's continue that then. Children 8. Let's see what is in there. Table script, and then table, and then table. I think I missed something. So let's have a look at, I'll just access this. Hold on. I'll just stop sharing for a minute. Okay, so I will share. Can you see what I'm sharing?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay, so let's try now.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Can you
ma'am.
see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so here I have got the 60. Okay, so I think I have, okay, I got the 60.71. So in order to get that, I had to drill down a lot of divisions. So how does that code look when we look in the advanced editor? I just want to share the advanced editor with you. So here in the home tab, there is a advanced editor. So here you see how there are children, because we will be expanding the children. So that is automatically, when you expand, that is what is shared, is written in the advanced editor. And here I have Uber, right? So okay, yeah. So okay, so this is the 60.70. That's what we need. And I'm going to remove the other columns, because we just need that one column. So I'm just removing the other columns, and I'm just loading it to, this time I'll just load it to in a new worksheet, a new table. Okay, so it's still getting the data, and enable content. Yeah, you get enable content, and I think there is some kind of a, okay, so see, you got the 60.63. That is the refreshed value. Okay, so now let's go into the, yeah, it's 60.63, right? So now I want to get, now we have just automated, just got the value for Uber. What if I want to get the value of, let's say, for example, 4 or 5 of these stocks? So let's say I'm just going to create a table and see how we can get that. I'm just going to create in a new sheet. I'm going to say insert, and a table. And I'm just going to, my table has headers, so I'll just go table, and I'm just going to name that as stock. And the first one I want to get is for Uber. Next one is Microsoft. MSFT is the shortcut on the finance.yahoo.com, and also Apple, EPPL, I guess, and also Google, I think, and also Nokia and OK. So let's say we want to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 stocks. How do we get that? We just got for Uber, and that is somewhere in the document here, right? Okay, so what we want to do is, before we do anything with this one, what we need to do is go into the Power Query, here in the document, and we need to, let's open with the Power Query open. Double click that, and then the Power Query editor opens. What I want to do is, I want to create this as a function and then use it. So I'll just say this is a function to get stock price. Okay. So what does a function do? When we pass for Uber, when we pass the Uber, it should get us the stock of Uber. And when we pass MSFT for Microsoft, then we should get the Microsoft stock price. So in order to do that, we are passing something called a parameter. So how can we do that? What we need to do is go into the advanced editor. Can you see my screen? Because I am not able to.
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
Yes, okay. I was not sure. Okay, so now let's go into, where's my mouse? Okay, let me use the advanced editor, home. Yeah, advanced editor. Go into the advanced editor, and we need to define a parameter. So how do you define a parameter? You define a parameter. This is all in mQuery. So just go let, and mQuery is what do you call, is sensitive, case sensitive. So you need to ensure that you use small letters, LET, and I'm defining a parameter for the source called stock. I'm just saying stock within brackets, and that is my parameter. And after giving the parameter, there is a sign which indicates that is the sign which we use, that this is the parameter. Now what is our parameter? Uber is our parameter. So instead of Uber, I'm just going to pass stock as the parameter. So I'm just going to delete Uber from here, and then come out of the quotation marks, and then give a space, and then I concatenate sign is ampersand, and then give stock. See, you can see the stock because we have already defined the parameter as stock. So that is the stock that we give as a parameter. And now it is not finished yet, because you have 2 let statements here, but you have only 1 in statement, and it is showing this as an error, token expect. So what you need to do is, you need to complete the first let statement. This part is the first let statement, but we need to complete the second let statement. So we just need to give in, and then in, yeah, and make sure it is small letters, lowercase, and then because we have said source equals stock, we just need to give source. And now you don't have any syntax errors. And then you are done. And then that will see the change. Now it is getting as fx. It is converted as a function. Fx is a function. And it is expecting stock as the optional parameter. So if I say Uber now, and then invoke the function here, it should get me something. Okay, I'll just refresh preview for now, because I think it's getting older data. Yeah, see, Uber 6063, that is what we have seen on the website. If I change the parameter, if I invoke the function again, just double click for invoking, and if I say MSFT, it should give me MSFT stock. That is Microsoft stock is 244.49. So now we will use this function in this table. Oh, I need to close this. So I'll just close this one. No, I don't need to close. Just hold on. Why is it not? Okay. Okay, we need to close this, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's close this and then keep. Okay, so now in this, so now it's getting data, and it is getting the MSFT, because that's what we have loaded. Okay, now I want the stock. I want to get all these stock prices for these companies. So what I do is I just go highlight that table and then go data, and from table or range, if I say that, and then it is taking the table automatically. Now I have this table. Now what I do is I want the stock as another column. So what do I do? So I just go add column, and then here you have seen custom column where Medha used to get the year using the year function. Now I'm going to use the custom function, because we have created the get stock price custom function. So I'm just going to click on that under add column, invoke custom function, and then I'm going to rename that as maybe price. And then under the function query, if you click on the drop down, it displays all the functions that you have in your Power Query. And we have the get stock price function. So you just use that function, and that function requires stock as the optional parameter. And this stock, this capital S stock, is coming from the stock column. So that's what we need to give. We need to give stock column as the parameter for the function get stock price. And then if you say okay, now you get something about privacy. You just go and continue. Oh my god, where is my... Okay, continue. And here I'm going to ignore privacy levels and then save. Once you do that, it is now getting the stock price. And there you go. Okay, so there is some kind of error. I think APPL is not correct. Let's see. This is going to error out. APPL or AP. Let's me check the AAPL. Okay, that's why it is erroring out. So let's fix that later on. Okay, so this is coming as a table, right? But you know that you can see that the data is in here. Okay, so now what you do is you can expand this one. and then convert that. And for some reason that because there is an error, it removed the other ones. So that's okay. We can fix that in the data there. So what I want to do, so we have seen that we have Uber and MSFT. So now what we'll do is we will just go back to home and then close and load to. Choose close and load to, and then I'm going to load as a table in a new worksheet. And it's going to load as table 2 because that's the name that we didn't change the name there. There weren't enough elements. Okay, there is some kind of an error. Let's try that again. I'm going to change this to AAPL so that it's easier. Okay, so now again, select that data from table or range. And then now you're getting, you're going to add a column, invoke custom function. And the custom function is prices, and name is prices, and then custom function is get stock price and stock. And then when you go there, see, no errors now. And then you can either convert the table to list maybe, or anyway, I'm just going to expand that and untick the use original column name as prefix, and that is the text. Okay, so now you can conveniently, I will rename this before we load. I'll just say stock prices and then close and load to, and go into a new table and a new worksheet. And then the new worksheet will be called stock prices. It's already there, and then it's getting data. So while it gets data, hopefully it's not too. Okay, so now you got the data, right? So now we have seen how we have where we have already defined the values in a table, how to get the stock prices. What about I want to just refresh this table, and add one more row, couple more data fields here. Let's add, for example, APHA and BNGO. Here I'm going to add APHA and BNGO. Okay, now I'll go to stock prices and then go to data and then go refresh all. Hopefully those two stock prices will come here, because we have already defined the table. It's getting the data from the table and also the stock price from the function. It's taking a little bit of time, hopefully. No, it's still getting 5 rows, 1 2 3 4 5 6 rows loaded, and you should get 7 rows. See, so once you define this one, you just need to change the data here, here, and then you get all the stock prices here. So that's using the little bit advanced, using a custom function, how to web scrape data that you want. So for example, you can use this if you are trying to, let's say these days nobody's flying, but if you want to get latest prices, flight prices by let's say by different airlines, you can just do a Excel custom function and then monitor these, and then you can try and book your airlines. That's one of the use cases. Yeah, when it lowers, you can just buy the airfares or something like that. That's one of the use cases that you can use for this scraping example. So that's the most of it that is covered. Let's go back to the PowerPoint again now. So we have covered structured HTML. Okay, so the recap is we have learned today what Power Query is. We have lived for the last 1 hour in Power Query, and now you know why Power Query can be used. I think lazy people like me can automate tasks, and then we can save time. Like Medha was saying, we can save data specialists most of the time if they use Power Query. They save around 40% of their time spent as a job, so they can use that time to maybe upskill and then become some analyze data and then do some predictions. And yeah, that's the. And I have put some resources here. And do we have some more time or?
Oh, yes, ma'am. You can take some time.
Okay, so maybe I'll just show you how to import a PDF. Let's try and import. Did you know that you can import PDF files? So let's try and do that. Let me see whether I have. Okay, I have an annual report as a PDF. And this is the PDF, a sample report, something I have downloaded from here. And let's say I want to import their financials. I think they have some financials somewhere. Yeah, this is the financials, operating results. So for that, I just, what I can do is I can either copy this or I can just import the PDF. Let's see how we can do that. So let's go into book 1 and go data. And let's see what the options are. Get data. So because you are getting data from a file. Okay, so there is a from PDF option. So I'm just going to get some data from PDF. And from PDF, you go to is my folder. Yeah, Excel in Excel. And then go there and then import. And once you import, oh, now I'm thinking I forgot to show you the Power BI desktop, how easy it is to do the stock price. I'll just show you that. Wait while we establish. I think the PDF is a bit. Did I close the PDF? I think I closed the PDF, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I closed the PDF. Okay, so now this will display all the tables that are there in the PDF, like similar to the structured HTML. So this will, if there are any structured tables, it's going to show you that. It's taking quite a bit of time. Hopefully. Any questions? Do we have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. We have quite a few questions. I mean, like
Okay.
a couple of questions we have.
Okay, sure. Do we want to take those until this loads or?
Yeah, sure. Anything based on your
Yeah, it is
preference.
loaded. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it is loaded. So let's start by table 1. So this is the contents. We don't want that. I think that the table is somewhere in between. So I'm just going to browse through that. When you see operating costs, tell me. So if I go there, so it's easy. Oh my god, too many tables. Oh, you see, you can see pages as well. So you can can't remember. Too many pages. So you get the idea, right? How to. I just want to see where that is the difficulty part. So it is displaying how many 166 pages, and let's open and see which page it is. Maybe that way it will be easier. Operating costs. Where is operating? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. This is in page. Which page is it? 124, 125. Okay, let's go and have a look at 124, 125. It's luckily it is giving page number, so that way we can easily find out. For the year, tablets. Yeah, so this is something like that. See, so you can go and transform and load. So you can use Power Query to import a PDF table. I just wanted to show you. And before I forget, let's go and see how we can do this part, the stock price part, very easily in Power BI desktop. So if I go here, this is my Power BI desktop, and before I go there, I just want to copy let's say Uber. I'm just going to copy this and get data from web. And here there is a feature which is not there in Excel, which I wanted to show you. So if you don't want to drill down those HTML body, div, all those things, if you have unstructured HTML, what I prefer is do the thing in Power BI and then copy from the advanced editor, which I'll show you now. So now it's getting the data from the website, and it's taking a little bit of time. Okay, so here again it is showing a little bit more tables, but not 100%. But now see here, all these are showing, but we don't want all these, right? But there is a feature in Power BI which is called add tables using examples. This is not there in the Excel Power Query editor. Hopefully it will come soon, but for now I'm just going to use this, and then see this one 60.63. So once I choose that, this appears along with what is there in the website, so that you can see it. So I want the 60.63. So I just type 60.63. So, and I choose only that because I just want only that. So I just choose that and then click on the next one. Because I just want only that, I'm just going to say OK. And once I say OK, and then go to transform data, it is going to do all the, see, I just got this one. But when I look at the advanced editor here, see, it just goes there and then just gets that column. I haven't tried this one, but I think if we copy this one and then go into Excel and paste it, we should get the same result. Instead of going through all those expansions of tables, let's try that. I haven't tried that this earlier, but I just want to try it. So let's let's go into web, and then I'll just say finance.yahoo.com just to get the advanced editor, and hopefully we can get the okay, so it's coming, and I'll just choose the thing and then transform data. And now here it comes up with something, but we don't want that. We just want to go into advanced editor and then just go and copy and paste. I copied from here, from this advanced editor, which is in Power BI desktop, and then copied into this one, into the Excel, and no syntax errors. Let's see. Done. Import matches, no exports. Okay, so you can't work like this. Okay, sorry, then we can't do it. But I was able to do it earlier. Okay, anyway, so that's one of the things that I wanted to show you. What is the difference between Power BI desktop query, Power Query Editor, and Excel Power Query Editor in terms of web scraping? There are a lot of differences, but yeah, this is one of the difference. Okay, so now let's take the questions.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Can I read them for you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So the first question being, what are the necessity prerequisites for a data sheet?
Data sheet. What is a data sheet?
Data set, I mean, if I'm
Data
not wrong.
set. Okay, data set. Prerequisites for a data set.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
need to have you need to have columns and rows, or at least one value for any data set. So I don't know. If I understand the question correctly, what should be the maybe prerequisites? I'm not able to understand. What should be the best practices for a data set or something like that, maybe. So that's what I'm understanding. So for a data set to be efficient in Power Query, what you need to do is this Power Query. Okay, let's go into one of the more formed ones. Let's say here. What you need to do is, if you have lots of data, you need to follow some best practices. Like, for example, if you are filtering some data, like for example, if you are getting data from a database or a Excel file or something, um, and if you want to filter that first, so your application should be, you have to filter the rows first. Let's say, for example, you are getting only for the last 3 months. So your first step in the applied steps should be filtering the data first, so that the performance of the data set will be uh, improved. So that you don't get more rows unnecessarily. So you have to apply the transformations for your data set to uh, so that it loads efficiently, so that it doesn't take much time. So that's one of the tips for getting a good data set. And also, if you don't want any columns, please remove them. And also, like how Medha said, make sure your data type is described. For example, these are good structured data type, by default, by data type, what I mean is if you go into transform, by default it is categorized as any when you if you had looked into the earlier thing. So for example, yeah, if by default it is categorized as data type as any, make sure that you choose the right data types. If you choose text as a data type for your integers, then it's not going to some of the functions also are not going to be working. So make sure that your data types are right, and also ensure that you keep what is necessary in the data set, remove the columns that you don't need, and also um, filter your data as a first step. Yeah. Hopefully I answered the question. I'm not sure.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we can go to the next.
Yes, ma'am. I'll read out the next question.
Yeah.
So if I remove the top 10 rows, will it
Yeah.
remove the headers or will the headers be there, ma'am?
No. Headers will be there. So you can see here. So for example, I'm just here, and so remove rows. I'm just going to remove top, and I'll just remove 2 rows. Okay. So headers are part of it. So it just remove 2 rows. See, now this is opening is 30. If you go into the uh, above step, it is 16. So it has removed 16 and 24, but not 30. So 30 is the, so you can go back, and the beauty about Power Query is you can just delete the step that didn't work. So it's like something like undo, but you can undo all the steps. Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
thank you,
query.
ma'am. And the next one, how can we work with .xlsb files in Power Query?
XLSD files in
XLSB,
Power
ma'am.
Query. It's a template files, is it?
I'm not
Um,
sure about that, ma'am, but it says like .xlsb file, B for ball, XLSB files.
yeah, I think it's the um, what is it, a macro file? Macro files. I haven't worked on it, so I'm not too sure. XLS XLSB, is it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, binary format. I haven't worked on it, so I'm not too sure. Yeah, it's a binary format.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, ma'am.
yeah, I'm not too sure. We should try. Just go into get data and then try and see from file, and then maybe try and import and see.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do that.
Yeah.
And the next one, ma'am, if we create the function in 2016 version, could it be opened using a lower version?
Lower version. Um, Most probably not. If the okay, let me put it this way. If the function that you have created in 2016, if it is if those features are available in the Excel 2010 or 2013, then if you copy the code from the advanced editor and then paste it into the lower version, it should work. But if the features are not available, then it won't work. Yeah, I'm not too sure what features are available in the lower versions, because I haven't worked on them.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So I think with that we are done with our Q&A session, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay, that's good. Hope the session was enjoyable,
yes, ma'am, it was
and thank
very
you for the
valuable.
opportunity. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us. It was really a pleasure having you and Medha with us. And behalf of Excel and Excel, I want to thank both of you all for taking time and being here with us, although it being a lot of time difference. Thank you for sparing
That's okay.
time
Yeah. Yeah,
and being
that's
here with us,
okay.
ma'am. And to the notice of all our participants, Medha has been the youngest speaker in our Fresh Talk event so far.
Oh,
And
thank you.
yes, ma'am, and it was very
Thank you.
nice to know how she has been inspired in this small age. Definitely
Yeah.
sets an example to many.
Oh, yeah,
And
thanks.
although we want to know how she got this interest towards data, ma'am, like how did she
Uh,
first want to? How did
I
she
I
know
will
that?
let her. I will let her.
Ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Hi, Medha.
Hi.
Okay, so we were just talking, wanted to know how you got this passion for data. I mean, in this very small, young age,
Mhm.
how did you derive this passion? So you would like to tell a
Um,
few words about that?
yeah. Um, so I'm actually inspired by my mum, and ever since she's been running um, classes for teaching kids, I've always like come to them, and every time I always learn something new. And um, I guess like data is just really different to like what kids learn these days. So I just wanted to give it a go, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. It's really nice. And even if you didn't know, you have been the youngest speaker in our show
Oh,
and event so far.
that's cool. Thank you so much for the
Yeah, thank
opportunity.
you. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye. And regarding our upcoming Fresh Talks, okay, and on 19th February, we have a session on MS Excel tips and tricks that a pro must know by Mr. Bob Umlas, who's also been recognized as an MVP for more than 25 times. So it's really a very big recognition from Microsoft, and it's going to be a very useful session. So do participate and register for the event. And on 26th February, we also have a session on Excel Data Analysis Toolpark by Mr. Prinjalekbe. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you in our next session. We hope this session was useful for you all. Do not forget to like the video, and for more updates, subscribe to our channel. To know more on EIE Fresh Talk, use the link in the description. Stay tuned for more Fresh Talk. Have a happy weekend, and thank you all. Ma'am, are you there on call?